As an enthusiast, content creator, and designer, I think at this stage I have a pretty good understanding of what I like and don't like in knives. But every once in a while something comes across my desk and it leaves me baffled and confused. Enter the Remette Scepter. Now this thing is amazing, beautiful, crazy, and confusing all at the same time. So let's get into it. Everyone, this is Sam at Wyvern Kodiak. This is the Remette Scepter, and we're going to take a look at this thing because this thing is just, holy crap. I don't even know where to begin. First off, you're going to see me do this a lot. Anytime you have Damascus inlays and stuff like that, it's going to need a lot of wiping and cleaning. And you can see here that this is just absolutely a beautiful piece of Damascus that they used here. A lot of oranges and very great lines of a differentiation between them. It's a stunner. And then you have these gold accents. I mean, this thing really is freaking wild. So let's get into it here. First off, it is got a textured button right here. Obviously that beautiful Damascus inlay. The bottom of it is almost like the bottom of an Egyptian king's scepter, which is what I think this is going for. This thing is like a modern relic. And then look at that pivot. I mean, it just multi-piece, very, very detailed pivot. Very, very interesting. It has some texture here, and we're going to look at that in a minute here. It has a near full back spacer on here. So very, very nice with some texturing on that. Milled titanium pocket clip, which looks to be pretty nice on there as well. T8 hardware everywhere. And then you get to the blade, which is going to be absolutely bananas as well. Let's open this thing up. And you can see here that it is like a harpoon, drop point, clip point. It is a flat grind, all DLC on this one. Another Damascus piece on the inlay on front and back. The blade is in M390. And you can see that this texture now lines up with the texture on the blade there. And that is kind of one of the things that I want to point out here is that this thing is just non-stop texture. It deviates and changes. It goes up and down like a roller coaster. And I don't know which way to look and how to take this all in. I mean, there is some crazy knives out there, but then there are some really plain ones, and that's typically where I live in my realm, is the pretty plain and boring colored ones, and not a whole lot of flash. But this thing is obnoxious and gaudy, but absolutely stunning and detailed. And it's like, where do I begin? And so I'm just kind of winging it, to be honest. Look at this thing, a diagonal fuller that starts off of the poon scoop over there and then drops down all the way past the grind edge. Okay, then you have inside here, it goes thin, thick, thin, and goes up into the poon scoop of the harpoon. This thing is bananas. Oh, and did you notice? It's a frame lock and a butt lock. Look at that. How cool is that? I love it. So, yeah, very, very, very cool. And a whole lot of texture, ups and downs. Your eyes don't know where to go. It's a very busy knife. But at the same time, the amount of work, detail, and engineering that goes into this is very, very extreme. Let's talk about the specs on this knife, because I can talk about crazy all day, but we need to get into the meat and potatoes a little bit too. This knife is pretty big. It comes in at 8.46 inches overall, so almost 8.5 inches. The blade on here is 3.46 inches, and it weighs 5.47 ounces. It is a hefty one, and Damascus, you have a pretty thick blade stock there that does not grind to a thin behind the edge piece. And then you have the internal mechanisms. It is not super thin behind the spine of the knife here either. So there is an awful lot to this. 5.47 ounces is not really horrible when you look at what you're getting here. Doing some size comparisons, I'm throwing some other stuff out there today because, you know, this is just different, and I'm going to be different too. So this is the EMP EDC Nimble X. This is a Spyderco Bodacious, and you can see here that it is close to Bodacious size. It's a little bit bigger than the Bodacious, but not by much. So again, a very large knife. And then we're going to look at a couple more here. This is the Bestech Taipan, and this will be my very own Wyvern Kodiak Gracchus. And you can see here that it is, again, very close in size. This is 8.15, this is 8.46, so 0.3 inches larger or so, so not a whole lot larger, but again, larger nevertheless. So you are talking about a good full-size knife here. So let's talk about the ergos, because with texture, ergonomics always come into being a factor. Now you have a knife that has a swell here, you have a big, and then it comes to thin, then it has a kind of like a butt edge over here. So lots to go on here. 4-finger grip, I have double XL hands, and you can see here that I am very comfortable in this position here. Now, ergos vary from hand to hand, and so this may not feel the same to you as it does to me, but in my hands, large double XL hands, this is very good. If you want to extend your thumb out a little bit more into that scoop, I'm really locked in here. Then you have this finger choil right here, very nice. And then this is where you can get behind the edge and really bear down. Again, very comfortable, extremely nice. I feel locked in, very nice. Don't feel any pinch points or hot spots anywhere on the knife. I do feel the pocket clip, but it's more of just it's there, not that it's painful or that I think it's even going to create a hot spot, but it is there. So let's talk about the action. It is on bearings. The button drops, thumb studs, really nice. We can talk about this frame lock here, and that works well too. Let's see, flick off the fuller. Oop, that was me. I got to get in there. There we go. And that works as well. No issues whatsoever. Reverse flick off of the button. I'm sorry, the thumb stud. That works great. The button works great as well. So all the modes of actuation on this are very nice. And the action is incredibly smooth on this. Very glassy feeling, very luxury feeling, if you will. And it should be. It should be when you're putting all of that into this knife. So let's look at this pocket clip here. It does have nice spring, but still has plenty of retention on it. So I think it's going to have a pretty good result on there. Nice ramp on it. Plenty of room under there to get fabric. Let's check it out. This is the test pants. And for those of you new to the channel, these are medium thickness jeans. I'm going to take the knife, put it in the pocket, see how easy it is to slide in, how well the retention is on the pocket clip, how easy it is to slide out, any long-term damage or fraying it does to the edges and seams of the pocket. We're in position here. A little bit of pressure, pops right over, no issues whatsoever. It does stick out of the pocket probably about 3/4 of an inch. So if you're looking for deep carry, this is not going to be the solution for you, but it does have good retention. It works the way you want it to. Coming out of the pocket, no issues whatsoever. That's a good pocket clip. Is it perfect? No. I don't know if there's really such a thing as a perfect pocket clip, but I can certainly tell you that this is a very good pocket clip. So it works well and gets a very good passing grade on this. It has a lanyard pin back there in the back of the back spacer. So for all of the folks in there that like lanyards, you do have an option there for that as well. So all in all, this knife is pretty damn stellar. I'm not gonna lie. That being said, this thing is far too busy, far too gaudy for me. But that doesn't mean for somebody else that it isn't, because there's nothing wrong with this knife in my opinion as far as that goes. It's just not my aesthetic. So, is there anything I don't like about this knife? I'm thinking. I mean, other than the aesthetics of it, because it's just not my style, I can't sit there and say there's anything wrong with it. The action, the ergos, the fit and finish is absolutely, impeccable on this thing. They picked really beautiful slices of Damascus on here, and everything is just put together beautifully. The action on it, as I had said, is spectacular. It is a pricey knife. This version here comes in at $429, but there is a non-DLC version that is, I think, $389. So they do have one slightly less expensive. So if you're interested in this or any other Remette knives, check my description for a link. The link helps the channel, and we certainly do appreciate you using it. It costs you nothing. It helps us greatly. And if you use it, anything that we get from the affiliations, we put back into the channel, which eventually goes into giving back to all of you. So that's what I got for you today, folks. I hope you enjoyed this video. Drop me a comment. Let me know what you think on this absolutely wild and crazy Remette Scepter. Would you rock this knife? Or is this thing just a bit too extreme for you as well? I'd love to hear from you on this, because this thing has blown my mind. And then if you're not following the Wyvern Kodiak YouTube channel, do me a favor, hit the subscribe button. We really do appreciate all the support. Check us out on Instagram at Wyvern Kodiak, and then head over to our website, wyvernkodiak.com. Subscribe to the newsletter and stay informed all things Wyvern Kodiak. I hope you enjoyed this video. I enjoyed checking this thing out. It really is blowing my mind, and I'm nearly just out of what to even think about this thing anymore. But anyway, appreciate everybody's time. You all have a fantastic day.